Hey guys, and welcome back to A&J Education YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about anthropology as a university subject and everything you need to know if you want to study anthropology. So if you're interested in that, keep watching because we have a great video coming up. All right, so let's jump in. We're very fortunate today to be joined by my colleague Peter. Hi Peter.
Hiya.
How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for joining. So, Peter, you just a bit of background on Peter. So, Peter has completed anthropology undergraduate at Bristol University and is about to start his master's at Oxford, also in anthropology. So, what does your week look like? You know, as an undergraduate student, anthropology, at Bristol, what did you do, and how heavy was the workload?
Yeah, so at Bristol in particular, there was quite a lot of options with the courses I chose to study.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the same for a lot of universities, but I think maybe the course that they offer there is particularly broad and varied, so it really gives you a chance to explore lots of different stuff. So so in terms of the workload then, it meant you were often writing essays at the same time for completely different ideas and themes, so sometimes it was a little bit difficult to wrap your head around changing between essay about something that's completely different from something else, like something statistical, which is quite rare, or something like a social theory. But yeah, just full of limited amount of lectures, but all of the lectures you have are super interesting and exciting.
So let's just break it down. So, out of the year, how many is it? 3 terms, about 10 weeks long, sort of?
Yeah, so at Bristol it's actually 12.
Okay.
Do you know, I think it was 3 times as well. Part of me has forgotten. Yeah, it was 3 times, and then you have breaks, often reading weeks in the middle. So the terms compared to Oxbridge are much longer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's benefits and, negatives to that. I personally feel like I might enjoy the shorter term.
More intensive. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have, a 3-week terms, and per week, how many hours of lectures, how many hours of classes and other stuff you have?
So undergrad and also masters is quite similar. So you have probably no more than 10 to 12 hours a week, and then
of lectures.
Of lectures, yeah, and also maybe 2 or 3 extra hours of tutorials and tutorials.
And at Bristol, how many people would be with you in the lecture hall, and how many people would you be in a tutorial?
Yeah, so it kind of depended on the class, because obviously some option units you could take and there'd be a smaller group. But generally it was anywhere from 30 to 80, depending on who had missed the lecture because it was too early or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. And what about the tutorial?
The tutorials there are good sizes, sort of between 6 and 10, I would say. So it's a nice enough size to chat and get your points across and not feel too intimidated. Yeah.
No, nice. Okay, and how does assessment work? So do you write essays throughout the year, and do they count towards your final grade, or how?
Yeah, so with essays they do. Occasionally you have essays that don't count towards your grade, or you have even different types of assessment. So one, we had like a blog to write, and you can even, as with visual anthropology, you can create a video. That's like a real sub-discipline of anthropology. But for the most part, your essays will count towards your final grade. But obviously you have the big dissertation in final year, which would be, I think it's somewhere around 40% of the entire mark. So if you're doing, 6 essays a year apart from that, then each essay doesn't necessarily count too much towards it. So there's a lot of wiggle room to experiment and be creative and have fun with it.
Fun. No, interesting. Cool. And, in terms of transitioning into masters now, so is the workload more intense or, less intense? Like how?
Yeah, I think generally it's a lot. There's a bit of a shift from Bristol to Oxford. Although maybe with social science you kind of can do as much or as little as you want to, I think. But the reading lists are certainly more extensive at master's level at Oxford. So I would say, and it's a lot more condensed. So I'm imagining that I'm going to be doing multiple hours, extensive hours throughout the weeks. But
No, cool. And compared to, if we just compare anthropology at university to other subjects like, I don't know, engineering, medicine, or English, in terms of workload, where does anthropology stand?
Another one that's kind of hotly contested. I feel like a lot of science kids will say that social science don't have to work too hard.
Yeah,
The general impression I got is that, like, to do okay in anthropology, yeah, you can do okay without necessarily putting in too much work, and if that's what you want to do, that's cool, but you probably won't get that much out of it in terms of your own fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
If you really push it, like, to try and get those higher grades, sort of going for the first, that's when you really have to really think around outside of the box and show a lot of initiative and critical, original thinking. So, So I think to score highly, you do have to do a lot of work. But it's, the more you get into it, the more exciting and fun it is. So, yeah.
Cool. Cool. Great. Well, Peter, and, just rounding up this video, could you share your top 3 tips to someone who's a prospective student who's thinking about studying anthropology? What can they do to strengthen their chances, make themselves a more competitive university candidate?
Yeah, sure. So I think obviously doing your studies at school really help, or undergrad, wherever you're at in your progression. But I think showing that you've done some kind of work or had some work experience in the sort of real world is really, really important. And it being, if you can find some kind of niche and to show that you've got like a specific interest, that'd be great. I guess that's one. Just kind of making it part of your life in a way that's not just work. It's like a real part of your interest, and something, if you would enjoy reading a book about it generally, then that's perfect. It's a good sign that, you should be reading it, and it will come across in your statement. And 3, I think probably getting good references from tutors is
It's cool.
because you could be the best student, but like if you haven't made good connections and stuff beforehand and show that you're a nice person generally, then it'll be harder to get in, I think.
So it sounds like, investing into a relationship with your referees, taking time to build that rapport is quite important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Great. Well, guys, I hope this was a great overview. I'm sure you're joining me in thanking Peter. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Yeah.
And all the best to you guys. Remember, please to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we share these videos regularly and would really appreciate it. And also do check out the newsletter that I write in university admissions. I send it by email every 2 weeks to your inbox, and you can sign up via the link below. For now, all the best, take care, and good luck with your applications.